What is going on, everybody? It is Starkler coming back at you with another Toontown Rewritten video, and this time I am going to be talking about the predictions that I think are coming for this year's ToonFest at GalaxyCon in 2024. The last time I did this, I just fought a VP and I briefly talked about some of the things that I thought were coming while I was just doing it in the background, but this time I figured, you know what, not only am I going to talk about what I think is going to happen, but I'm also going to give a few small suggestions, and at the same time I'm also going to give my own little estimated percentage on what I think the chances actually are of having something either brought up or mentioned or showcased during the event. So just sit back and relax and listen to what I have to say. So the first thing that I wanted to talk about, that I wanted to get out of the way first, is what you will get if you physically go to ToonFest, and it's pretty obvious that we are absolutely 100% going to be getting more physical merchandise, and I know that not everyone watching this is going to attend ToonFest, so that's why I just wanted to go over it real quickly. We have things like t-shirts, lanyards, new cards, pins, posters, etc. They always do new stuff like that every single year. It was also teased on their Twitter on May 4th, a brand new trading card for the virtual Skelecogs is also going to come out, so we are absolutely going to get brand new physical merchandise 100%. So that's where we're going to start at the top. 100% new physical merchandise. For those who don't know, during the last ToonFest of 2023, people were really excited when they found out that they were actually getting to take home their own little Flippy plush. Thinking about it now, it would only make sense for them to order more Flippy plushies just so they can give them away again this year, and I'm actually going to be kind of shocked if they don't. They could also possibly have plushies of other certain characters, like original characters that they could do plushes off of, because like I said, I just don't see them not doing this. 80% chance I would say that they're probably going to have more Flippy plushies. They're amazing. I seriously doubt that this is even going to happen, but there is always the possibility that they could announce that they're working with Makeship to create a plushie, and it couldn't be Flippy because Disney would probably get on their case about using one of their original characters. But what I do want to say is that working with Makeship could allow for everyone in the Toontown community to buy themselves a plushie, just like how Toontown Corporate Clash did the same thing with the Duck Shuffler, and now they're doing the same thing with both the Firestarter and the Pace Setter launching at the same time, with those also raising money for charity as well. So you know what? They could easily take all the money they earn from the campaign and donate it to a charity of their choosing for whatever they like, just like how Corporate Clash did. I actually made a tweet very recently that just brought up the idea of what types of characters Toontown Rewritten could use to work with Makeship, and the tweet actually got a lot more traction than I thought it would, so this proves that people do want to see this, and by having Corporate Clash already doing plushies before, it proves that this is at least possible. For me personally, I would want to see a Riggy-Marole plushie, and then maybe even see like a jumbo edition of the Field Office Boiler or something like that. It's just a funny idea that I had that I really wanted to get out there because I know that it's possible. So bottom line, is TTR working with Makeship? Will they announce that? I'll give it a 10% chance, and even then I think that's me just being really generous. So new virtual clothing and accessory items that are exclusive for ToonFest in-game wise. Not real life stuff, but in-game. And this one I'm just gonna go over really fast because every year we've received something brand new for celebrating ToonFest, like new outfits, accessories, hats, glasses, shoes, backpacks, you name it. It's always been a yearly tradition for them to release something brand new. I don't really understand why they wouldn't do something like that, and nothing's been announced or revealed at the time of me recording this, but I know deep down that it's going to happen. I can't give it a 100% chance, but I will respectively give it a 95%. I really don't know why they wouldn't do this, so let's just move on to the next thing. Another thing that was mentioned last year was the Toontown Remastered project, and I do want to say that I think that there's a good chance that they will showcase a little bit more progression that has been made on the project. I think it's best if they don't give us a release date yet, because I know this type of stuff takes a long time to do. It's not only about re-imaging visuals for the game, but it's also about creating new music along with new collisions and completely brand new textures overall. And I wouldn't be surprised if there were new 3D models for things like some of the street signs or the trees that you see, like things that are 2D that become 3D would be nice. So the project's already being done one playground at a time, which also includes COG HQs and stuff like that. So we might get a small visual showcase on what their work in progress might look like, but we really haven't gotten any other updates on this project other than the fact that it's being worked on. What are the chances of them showcasing a release date or some sort of showcase for Toontown Remastered? I will give it an 80% chance. They should give us some sort of update on this. Okay, so this is probably the hardest one for me to make my judgment on, and this was the project that was brought forward called the Gags and Gears for Good idea. It's a project and an idea both at the same time because they brought it up at ToonFest of last year, and it's pretty much the concept of having a non-profit community project being done that could help create and sell low-priced Toontown merchandise with the commitment of not handling any money from anyone because they don't want to have Disney getting on their case for anything, but all the profits would be donated to charity. It exists because the amount of officially licensed Toontown merchandise that actually does exist in the real world is pretty scarce, and it's no longer in production, and it goes for outrageous prices. So that's why this entire project was brought forward. So could this project be brought up? I'll give it a 50% chance. It might come, it might not, and like I said before, the idea of them working with Makeship to help get original Toontown merchandise out there while also donating stuff to charity could both happen at the same time. So just have to say it again, I hope that they do that. Alright, the under new management release date, and this is really straightforward and to the point. For those who don't know, the under new management update was revealed at last year's ToonFest. We got 4 brand new supervisors that were showcased to us, and there was even a physical play test for people at the event who could give it a shot. And you know what? 9 months later, there were weekly play tests that took place on February, and I was personally invited to it, and I had a lot of fun with it, and they even updated it as those playable weeks continued onwards. So honestly, I'm gonna be surprised if we don't get a release date, so I'm gonna give this a 90% chance because there really should be some sort of announcement of when this is going to come out, because it feels like it's mostly complete already, even when I did the playtest myself during the second week. So it's in my best judgment to say 90% chance. They should give us a release date on this. Absolutely. Will we get a glimpse of the Clear Coast playground? So to give a quick recap, Clear Coast is a new playground branching off of Donald's Dreamland that was announced at ToonFest of last year, and it was described to be this vacation playground for Toons to relax, explore, socialize, get away from the cogs and the playfulness on a little beach trip, etc. And the most we got from this update was the announcement of the playground itself, along with a few visual concepts that was shown. You actually got to hear some cool music too if you physically attended the event, and that's actually what you're listening to right now in the background. There was a tweet that surfaced on February which asked for texture artists to help with bringing the playground to life. So honestly, this implies that a rough model of the playground probably exists and that they just need to get more textures completed before it's finished. So you know what, we also saw the volcano, and even during the Q&A section, I heard that the questions were filtered to ensure that no one could even ask about the volcano to begin with. So honestly, will we get to see any sort of visual on this playground? I'll give it a 70% chance. We might get to see some assets, but we probably won't see like any sort of trailer or anything like that. Okay, so for the last 2 ideas that I wanted to bring forward that most likely will not be brought up, but maybe there's just that off chance that they might be, is Operation Liberate Lawbot. Now I know that this might be coming out of left field, but I want you to hear me out for a second. We had Operation Storm Cellbot headquarters announced in July of 2015, And then 4 years later, we had Crash Cashbot headquarters announced in May of 2019. So now that it's been around 5 years now, could they announce the next operation, whatever? Most likely Lawbot, since they're probably going in order from Cellbot to Cash to Law to Boss, etc. Could we see Liberate Lawbot? Maybe. I'm gonna give it a generous 25%. Maybe they can mention it, maybe they won't, maybe it's a secret project, who knows. I just wanted to toss it out there because there's always that chance that they could say it, so don't get your hopes up too much, but maybe they'll say it. And for my final thing that I wanted to bring up in this video is the idea that maybe the executive office tower could be briefly mentioned at some point in time during the What's Next panel. Now, for me personally, I'm still sticking with my personal idea that the executive office tower should be accessible through doing whatever toon tasks are eventually added to clear coasts, and that's what I think they should do with the tower, because it seems like they're taking a step in the right direction towards putting in toon tasks that lead to that. But you know what? You never know. Maybe they could mention that the volcano or something leads to that by some miracle. Would they mention the existence or any progression made on the executive office tower? I'll give it a 20% chance. Maybe, just maybe, they'll mention it, and it would just be cool to hear more about what's going on inside of there. So, you never know. Truly, you never know. So anyways, that's pretty much all I have to say for this video as far as my little ToonFest predictions go. I felt like I kind of wanted to do something a little bit more special than just fighting the VP and just briefly mentioning a couple of ideas I had here and there. So hopefully you guys like my little percentage predictions. If you agree what I have to say, or if you disagree, then feel free to leave a comment down below. And if you have any original ideas that I didn't mention here, then you can also leave those as well. Again, I know that this video is only going to have relevancy for just a few days because I'm going to get it up as fast as I can, and then this Friday is when all of ToonFest will happen. So that's pretty much it, and you know what? I'll see you guys on Friday. I'll upload whatever reaction videos I can. This is going to be a lot of fun. I just know that this ToonFest is going to be magical this year. So that's it, and I'll see you guys later. Have a good day.